So we just got the mid-season finale of The Nevers this week, and I still can't tell if I like this show or not.
If London is going to be saved from chaos, it needs to see chaos.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Brandon, and this is Film Flare, where we discuss anything and everything that makes film and television great. So be sure to subscribe, and let's talk about a great show. Now, I've previously made a review on the pilot episode of this show, so if you haven't watched it yet, feel free to go back and watch it when you're done with this one. Now, in that review, I did mention that this show was created by Joss Whedon, who had to step back from the project back in November for unrelated reasons, but just about everyone knows exactly what those reasons were. And unfortunately, the backstage politics have severely affected this show, which I was really hoping wouldn't happen, although I did know that it would. When the show first premiered, I thought its initial run was only going to have 6 episodes because that's where all of the information stopped for this show. But it turns out that's just the first half of the season, which is great because I initially really liked this show and was looking forward to more episodes. But at the moment, there are still no plans on when the second half of this season will air, and there's a real possibility that it never will. The show follows a group of Victorian women with unusual abilities in a fight for their survival and their future against a number of different factions, all vying for control of an unknown power that could change the world as they know it. It's a pretty solid concept that just requires a lot of moving parts to be executed well. And as far as the episodes that we do get, I honestly can't tell if this show is good or not. It's got a lot of great elements going for it, but it feels like the show is really struggling to put it all together and make the premise work. I love the setting, the mystery, and the overall story of the show. And one thing that the series absolutely nails are a number of interesting characters and all of the great actors playing them. There's not a single character that doesn't have an interesting story, and they all bring something unique to the table. From the duo of Donnelly and Skelly playing the patron saints of touch girls, to James Norton as a seedy entrepreneur looking to capitalize on these touched girls, to Ben Chaplin as the no-nonsense police inspector with some demons in his closet. There's a lot of characters with varying motives and stakes in this story, and they all help to round out the story and keep it fresh and interesting.
Amalia true? I do not believe she's only interested in giving the touch to save Haven. Do you?
No, that ain't her whole story.
But on the flip side of that, there are so many characters with their own stories and motives that it sometimes becomes difficult to follow all of their individual developments as well as those of the overarching plot. It definitely feels like this show is skipping some scenes and story beats, especially after the first few episodes when the show really starts moving. In the beginning of the show, there were entire sequences where I had no idea what was going on, but I really didn't mind it then because neither did our characters, and we were both figuring everything out at the same time. But at some point as the show went on, there were some developments that would happen within the show that would never be shown or explained to the audience. Things just started happening and we were left to figure it out on our own. And then the mid-season finale just decided to go off on its own and tell a completely different story altogether. In fact, it was so different that I had to double check and make sure I hadn't accidentally clicked onto something else. It was just so far removed from everything else the show had been doing up to that point. And while I do like what it was trying to do with the overall story of Amalia, it just came from too far left field to really make any sense alongside the previous 5 episodes. I think it would have made a lot more sense to tell that story in more broken up pieces throughout the whole season, rather than just a giant unprovoked info dump in the middle of the season.
It's time to tell them. Everything. The future. Vigilante. The fight that's coming.
With another half of the season yet to be released, yet still without a set date for its return yet, the mid-season finale had the very awkward job of both trying to wrap everything up and being a cliffhanger so the audience will want to come back for more. But in the end, it really felt like a disjointed mess of a bunch of different stories that kind of feel similar, but really don't match that well. I do like the individual pieces of the show, but altogether, they just don't add up into the cohesive piece of storytelling like they really should. So I am still kind of holding out hope for the final episodes of The Nevers, if only just to clean up the mess of this season so far. But as of right now, everything just feels too disjointed and incomplete, which is a shame because I think the show really had a lot of potential. But what are your thoughts on The Nevers so far? Let me know in the comments below. You can rewatch the first 6 episodes now on HBO Max while we wait for the second half of the season to be released. But before you go and watch that, please do be sure to give this a like and subscribe for more reviews like this. We've got new content coming out every Tuesdays and Fridays. But until next time, have a great day and don't forget to watch a great show. Bye.
Attached. A part of something much bigger.